Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from Nerdrotic.com, and this is the Nerdrotic Nooner. Happy Hump Day, everybody. Hump Day. How's it going? Halam899, Brent Newman, Matthew Matson, Mark Cole, aforementioned, Aquilus Gordon. Am I saying that right? Immortal Technique. I like that. Chris Persia, Albert Stebbins, Scott Carr, Ken Jack Ben, Cato Ronan, his wrench. Thank you so much, Philip A. Demick. Good to see you. How is everybody? I'm going to go up the chat here a little bit. Fred Flintoff. Sorry about that. Sid of the Id. Mr. Twisted 72. Hail to you, sir. How's it going? How is everybody? The DJ D show is here with his wrench. Thank you so much, Anthony. Buck Nasty 1138. Hail, Gary. Love your channel, man. Hey, we love you too. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Okay. So Malwinius Serrano, Ulfram from York. Hello. A simple hello. Danny Miller. We're waiting for some other people to roll in here, but we can get going. There's a lot to talk about that we can go over. But tomorrow's it's the great battle. It's Star Trek Day tomorrow, and it's going to be a lot like well, if you were around these parts, that Doctor Who day I did where I did 2 live streams and a review. It's going to be that, but twice as much. So I'll go right over what we're going to do with the Orville. Star Trek Discovery, because it's premiering, will take priority this week. I'm not sure if it's going to do that every week. It depends. I kind of like to end with the good thing. You know, I don't know. We'll see. You know, could Star Trek Discovery season 2 be good? Yes, there's an infinite possibilities for everything. But the chances of that happening are very low, because to be good, they would have to pretty much erase season 1 from existence. Maybe keep the ship. I like the ship design. Can I say that? I like the ship design. And, you know, as far as the sets, they need to redo the sets. The actual special effects, you know, if they keep the GD camera still, maybe. I don't know. We'll talk about that later. But our schedule will be going live right after Star Trek Discovery airs. I think it's 5:36, something like that, my time. So yeah, like 5-10 minutes after it airs, I will be live. Then I will be doing a separate review video for people who don't want to watch the live stream. The initial live stream will go 45 minutes to an hour. Then I'm going to go watch Orville, and then we'll do the same thing with Orville. We'll go live. Susan will be joining me for that one. And then I'll do a separate video for that one later as well. I will be very busy tomorrow. So, and there's a Star Trek video, if I can get it finished, that's coming out in the morning. A different take. Also, I know I'm going to be super late on this, but the Picard series. I got a video coming out in the Picard series because I have a feeling I know what they're basing it on. They've kind of said, they've kind of hinted. So I have a couple of CBS insiders now. So we talked about this a little bit Monday, but when they announced the Philippa Georgiou spinoff, which they announced, so they announced it again, and we talked about it last live stream in detail. I just want to point out again that they already kind of announced it. She's already verbally agreed. And I would like to point out that Star Trek 4 was full steam ahead at one point. The Boba Fett movie for Star Wars and the Obi-Wan movie were full steam ahead at one point. A lot of things are planned, and they just don't happen. God, there was going to be a Ghostbusters 2016 sequel. That didn't happen. Amazing Spider-Man 3, that didn't happen. There's a lot of stuff that gets announced. There's a lot of stuff that they start making sets. They start actually shooting. You know, Nicolas Cage's Superman. They started costuming for that. A lot of things happen. Plugs get pulled last minute all the time. So I'll repeat what I said there before. What what everybody has reported. Everybody and what these insiders have said is Star Trek Discovery season 2 has to be a resounding success. If it is, all this stuff happens. It does. If it isn't, then it doesn't. And it doesn't. And a 5-year deal, to equate it to the sports ball, a 5-year contract in Hollywood is just as good as a 5-year contract in any sports ball league. They'll get to keep some of their money if they get fired. Coaches get fired all the time with multiple years on their contract. That means nothing. It just means he's going to get a lot of money out the door no matter what happens. Klutzman will be getting paid, which is unfortunate, but hey, is this a great country or what? Okay. And you know what? Honestly, if he would just take 25 million to go away, especially if it's not mine, hey, go away. Go away. Thank you for the £5 super chat, Brent Newman. Hail! Thank God I don't have to congratulate you on 31,000. Oh bugger! Congratulations, Gary. By the way, want to buy a secondhand franchise? One lady driver. Do you? Yeah, sure. Why not? Hey, so did anybody see? I don't watch late night interview shows because they've just become intolerable because they just talk about one person all the time now. And I know that gets them clicks. And I know I'm like, who am I to judge talking about one person all the time? Yeah. Okay. But seriously, I don't want, I know some people are into it, but I watched the highlights of the Sonequa Martin Green, Stephen Colbert interview. Did anybody see that? Did was she, I mean, allegedly, was she on something? She was a little euphoric. She was making weird noises, looking up at the sky, and like I want to be very careful explaining her facial expressions, but just go watch it. Just watch it. Even Colbert is like sitting there going, like you could just see it on his face. He's like, she's really, I mean, it was very Tom Cruise-ish, jumping on the chair kind of. You know what? Yeah. I don't know. Hello, Alexander Carries, Sean Beckard. How are you? MDMA. Thank you. Straight up. That was a lot of euphoria there. He just shows up randomly and fixes things. Who's that? I was thinking a fun thing we could do later today. Rebecca Gold, how's it going? Yes, Ghostbusters 3. We're going to talk about that. That is Dr. Vakeman. I was waiting for you. You're welcome for Ghostbusters 3. Well, Bill Murray. And yes, it's really good news. Careful with the spoilers, kiddo. Bob refuses to use the streaming service for his reviews, so he gets the episodes from a friend. Kiddo. Stephanie, you ain't that much older than me. Kiddo. What spoilers? So okay. So Ghostbusters 3 we can talk about too. It's very exciting news, and I think there's something to that. Do you guys want to start with that? We could start with that. And then we'll get into the Star Trek stuff, and it's whatever you guys want to talk about, honestly. Thanks again, Brent Newman, for the super chat. So Ghostbusters 3, let me get that article up real quick. I think there's good and bad with this, as with everything. I think that this might be the first sign of a correction. The first sign of a Hollywood correction to what has been going on right now. There we go. I'm going to pick, EW. I'm not really happy with them, but EW. So we had, of course, the female Ghostbusters. It was not a success, even though for like a good year solid, they tried to tell us it was a success, and it wasn't. And it was the thing that brought the Rotten Tomatoes divide to light. I think this is partially a response to that, and I would call it almost an apology to fans by Sony. Now, Sony is not a great company. I think the motive behind this is Sony just desperately needs to make money, because right now the one thing they really have going for it that is in partnership with Marvel. They haven't had a ton of success. They've gotten out of the hole. They were in a big hole a year ago, to the point where they almost had to sell. I don't know exactly where they're at there, but I would say Sony is a studio living paycheck to paycheck. Does that make sense? So this is great, because when a studio lives paycheck to paycheck, sometimes they have to do desperate things that fans actually want. Here's the rub, though. These guys are old, and they're missing one. Is Rick Moranis going to show up? I heard he's, retired. Are they going to pass the torch? Are they going to do what they should have done in the first place? 2 women, 2 men. Nobody would have had a problem with that at all. But are they going to bring us the same crap that they've brought us before? Is it because right now comedy is not very good, folks? Comedy, pretty much joking about a president or making the white guys look stupid. Basically, that's comedy. Except here on YouTube with people who are trying to actually do edgy stuff, and some of it's actually very good. I'm just saying mainstream. So, do you believe in UFOs, astral projections, mental telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, spirit photography, telekinetic movement, full trance mediums, the Loch Ness Monster, and the theory of Atlantis? Actually, yes to all of the above in IRL. If so, good news. There's a new Ghostbuster movie in the works. Oh, you're so funny. Entertainment Weekly has learned exclusively that Jason Reitman will direct, co-write an upcoming film set in the world that was saved decades previously by a proton pack wearing working stiffs in the original 1984 movie, which is directed by his father, Ivan Reitman. I've always thought of myself as a first-generation Ghostbuster. He talks about it. Sony Pictures has dated the film for summer 2020. Man, they better get going. With plans to start shooting in a few months. God, you know what? It must be easier to make movies these days. It's too soon to reveal the plot of screenplay because they probably, honestly, they probably just did this deal in the last couple days. That's how quick these things move sometimes. Who the new characters will be, or whether the original actors like Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, or Bill Murray will return. Harold Ramis died in 2014. It's very early. I want the film to unwrap like a present. We have a lot of wonderful surprises and new characters for the audience to meet. There you go. The all-female Ghostbusters movie, directed by Paul Feig, made in 2016, was an abomination. I'll just finish that sentence right there. Reitman is an Oscar nominee. He did Juno. I saw that. I like Juno. I thought it was pretty good. I love everything about it. The music, the tone. Reitman says, I remember being on the set. Oh, that must have been awesome. Being on the set as a kid. That didn't suck at all. Yeah. Okay, guys. What do you think about this being the turnaround, the Hollywood turnaround? Like maybe they've seen what's been going on, and this being the first sign, the first maybe surrender flag or peace flag. Won't say surrender flag. We'll say peace flag. Do you think that's it, or do you think it's just a desperate studio needing money? I don't know. Either way, if it comes out good, I'm really happy. I love Ghostbusters. But I also think it's something of its time. Geez, I don't know. I'm hoping for the best. I really am. It sounds like, getting the right Reitman kid to do it sounds great. I think it's, keep it in the family. And I honestly think this is a starting of a love letter to fans. We need more love letters to fans, especially on the heels of what Disney did yesterday. So what Disney did yesterday was the dumbest PR move in the history of dumb PR moves. It's something they did not need to do. The $1 billion company, it was petty. It was freaking petty what they did. And it really got under my skin to the point where I made a Star Wars video, which I don't do. And yeah, we'll talk about it, but I think I'm hoping that this is starting to mend fences with fans a little bit. It's never going to be perfect, and nor should it be. Okay, there should always be a discourse out there. They could do a crossover with the women's reboot team if they base it off the crossover event. Would you want that, Dr. Venkman? I would rather no. I would rather the women's team not exist anymore. Bring in 2 other women. And it's one of the women was, is funny and other things. But yeah, just no, bring in some fresh faces to pass the torch and make sure they're good, and make sure you're not we'll see. We'll see. We're not there yet. We got to see what the casting is and who's writing it. Is he writing it? He's a good indie writer. Can he write a good solid comedy, or are they using a Dan Aykroyd script? I hope they use that, but I mean, does Dan Aykroyd still have it? I mean, these are things we got to ask. Your God is nowhere. I thought George Lucas encouraged fan films and fan making. Didn't they sound Didn't he have sound effects posted for open use? He did encourage it to a certain extent. Yes. He even turned a blind eye to actual like t-shirts and stuff like that. George was not a saint. Okay. I mean, a lot of people are making him out. George was not a saint. George had a horrible relationship with fans prior to the prequels. Okay. George is a very complex guy. He's not an evil person either. He's just a complex guy. But yes, he was cool about that. He was way cooler than Disney. Way cooler than Disney. Alex Brown, Disney. So a fan film was made called Vader. I reviewed it. It was very, very good. The creator, I'm going by his word, by the way. The creator of Star Wars Theory said he went to Star Wars and asked if he could get money for it to reimburse his cost. They said no, and they have every right to say that. You are not allowed to make any money, not just profit. You're not allowed to make money, meaning somebody is not supposed to give you $1, even though you're $80,000 in the hole for making the movie. Disney does not care about that. They see you collecting a penny as getting a penny for something that they own. So you cannot do that, not even to recoup your losses. So that's the deal. He agreed to that apparently and said, listen, I'm going to make it anyway. Is that cool? And apparently they said yes. And when he put it up on YouTube, he didn't monetize it, but companies can copyright strike anything. And the deal is they won't take down your video or even take down your channel. And honestly, I mean, like on the surface of things, this is like a really fair thing to do. And I think they waited a while, but they copyright striked it so they would get the money. It was really, it's totally within their rights to do that. And a complete underhanded, sneaky, low petty move. And I think it was because of its success. I'm sure you guys think that too. It was because it was so damn good. And I'm not kidding. When I was like, that felt more Star Wars to me than anything I've seen in decades. It was really well done. It's still a fan film, but it's really well done. Hey, he's going to be okay. His channel has 1 million something subscribers. Not that he's going to listen to me. He looks like a really smart, talented kid. He doesn't need to listen to me. But my suggestion would be take that talent and make something your own that you can keep. That's yours. You've got the gift. You just do it. Just write something original, do something original. You're going to get a job now. This is going to get him a job somewhere. That's what Lucasfilm should have done that. God, I would love to have Star Wars Theory at Lucasfilm. We need more Star Wars theories at Lucasfilm. People who actually love it and love the fans. And yeah. Otaku Senpai, thank you for the $2. See John Campia reaction to his two-day on this show. I have not. What was it? Let me guess. Shiltastic? Shillerific? Spaceballs budget 22.7 million, made 38.1 million US. Natasha, yeah, that was back in the day when $1 million was a lot of money. Star Wars Theory is Star Wars at the moment. Brent Newman, I totally agree. The new one should be Extreme Ghostbusters with Gozer's older sibling, and they combine both new and old teams. Yeah, that would be cool. That'd be cool. Extreme Ghostbusters wasn't that bad. Dr. Venkman, I loved the game. I loved the game. I thought it was so good. I remember when they announced the game, it got Comic-Con so excited because everybody thought it was Ghostbusters 3 then they announced the game and people were all moo until they played the game and they're like, oh, okay, that was pretty good. Jibba Jabba FPV, it's not even Disney or Lucas that strikes it. It was a lawyer firm, hired by Disney and Lucasfilm. So yes, they represent them. Disney should sponsor Fan Kids, make an anthology and release on May 4th in the theaters. Fan appreciation effort. See, you right there. Idiotic tirades just thought of a solution. See, we're solution based here. We're solution. You just thought of a solution that would have worked. There was a lot of solutions. You just don't do this one. You know what? Okay. Full disclosure. I don't like Disney. I've never liked Disney. I'm not really a fan of the movies. I'm not, I liked Aladdin a little bit, but I'm not a Disney. I'm a straight up Warner Brothers cartoon kid. I thought Disney was always kind of weird and I just didn't like it. I love Disneyland, but like Disneyland's like kicked me out a couple times, so like we don't have a great relationship. But I like the last time I went, I spent a fortune. My kids really didn't have that great a time. And I'm like, I'm done with this place. So it's going to be really easy for me to check out on Disney. I think the only thing I'll have a hard time not buying Disney is Marvel. And that's, the Disney boycott's been thrown around. And the reason it's in the title is like, if you're going to do a boycott of Star Wars, the only way it's going to work, the only way you're going to even show anything to them is pick one thing. You either boycott everything across the board, Marvel Comics, theme parks, Star Wars, ABC, stop watching ABC shows. I mean, everything. And a lot of people have to do that. And I don't think a lot of people are going to do that. Or a bunch of us agree on one thing and say, we're really not going to go. We're just not going and truly not go, and listen, if any of you go, then like, we're not going to hurt them. They've owned too much stuff now. That's why, it was really kind of a failure of the government not to shut down this Fox merger. That is bad. I'm telling you, that is bad. Yay, we got the Fantastic Four and X-Men. It's going to affect entertainment for decades. It's not worth it. It's not. We got Fantastic Four and the X-Men in comics. You can go watch them then, but factual opinion Campia shout out, not for me. Not for me. Honestly, I've never ever watched the dude. I didn't watch whatever he was on. Maybe I've accidentally seen him when he on Collider years and years ago. Maybe I might have seen him then. But no, I've never even, I don't, I only know who he is through world-class bullshitters and stuff. Grew up watching Tintin, Lucky Luke, and reading Beetle Bailey. Oh wow, Tintin's awesome. It's of course it's got its problems, but it was of its time. It's of its time. So, yeah, I'm not one of those people that judges people, in the early 1900s or the 20s on today's values, because it's not really fair. Black Hole best Disney film, says Michael Digno. Oh, I loved Black Hole. That was a good movie. Wow, I was like 10 when I saw it. Slim Pickens as a robot. Shit. Oh, I'm not supposed to cuss. Sorry. The Ghostbusters Xbox 360 game is part of an ongoing IDW comics series. They built a whole new Chicago team, even a new rival team that copied their equipment schematics. See, that's a good idea, and that would be a great premise for a movie, Dr. Venkman, for sure. I love that. At the London celebration, there was a whole section and even award for best fan film. Yeah, fan film, like Comic-Con. One of the main attractions at San Diego Comic-Con back in the day was the fan films. They give awards for it. Of course, there's Batman Dead End, which is, one of my all-time. I remember watching that over and over again because Batman Dead End, for one, had the best Batman costume, period. And he got a gig out of that. Yeah, Warner Brothers did the right thing there. Immortal Technique, it's okay. It's okay. I do not judge people for misspelling stuff here. I am the last person to do that in the world. I cut Disney out of my life completely. Yeah, I am not. I'm not buying anything Star Wars, like Marvel Comics. I buy a couple. That's probably the only thing. I don't watch anything on ABC. They got rid of Daredevil, and that was an ABC production. I mean, unless I accidentally watch that, it's going to be tough not to watch some Fox stuff. And it really irks me that Disney owns X-Files now. It's like, kidding me. I just saw a Sony animated Ghostbusters movie by the team that made the Spider-Verse. Interesting. How was it? Your God is Nowhere. Black Hole was amazing. The original Tron holds up way better than Tron Legacy. I thought the effects were better in the original. I love Tron. I love Black Hole. There was something to like about Legacy. Oh, it was the soundtrack. Really great soundtrack by Daft Punk. For sure. Best cop. Yes, Ken Jack Ben. That they got the Batman costume right. Batman did, and Batman is the baddest man alive. He does not need armor. The thing I've been saying since I own my comic shop. I know why Batman's a superhero, because he could kick the crap and not kill 100 ninjas butt ass naked with nothing, with just Batawang flopping around. And he'd probably find a way to use it as a weapon. Netflix announced Wednesday a new series from The Office creator Greg Daniels and Steve Carell called Space Force. No way. Well, take them on, Blade. Here's the deal. If it's like a parody of like a space show, but if it's a political parody, well, it depends. It depends. That sounds kind of fun though. It does. I like Steve Carell. 40-Year-Old Virgin's one of my all-time favorite movies. I love that. Star Trek Continues got awards too. So yeah, Sequist, they deserved them. They deserved them. Just like I said in my video, Star Wars has Disney has their Axanar now, and you just like at a time where you're trying to heal things, you did just the dumbest move ever. You did not need to do that. They're not going to gain anything from this. Star Wars Theory is going to gain a ton. Like he's got like little teeny channel defending him. He doesn't even know who I am, and that's fine. I don't care. But and honestly, I've seen a couple of his things before that, but not much. A Tron Legacy would have sucked without that soundtrack. Yes, Tron Legacy had the creepiest CGI Jeff Bridges ever. It did. The Uncanny Valley. Sorry, Sony announces they were doing an animated Ghostbusters movie with Into the Spiral. Oh, they're announcing it. Okay. So they're going full steam Ghostbusters. Well, that's not a dumb move. They must have their cast together then. They must have a good cast together, or they wouldn't be full steam ahead. They just haven't announced it yet. That's the major flaw with the Batman, Keaton Batman. He killed, yes, and he fired weapons from his Batmobile. Yeah, Sequist, that's Tron Legacy was beautiful. I saw it like in big old 3D. If they don't have the original cast of Ghostbusters 3, it'll not be good. The story should be about the message from the dead Dr. Egon Spengler warning them about something bad. Absolutely, Rebecca. I think that's what we're probably going to get. I don't think they would be rolling this out without bringing in the original cast like one more time. Even if it's saving all of them, like they went in to go try to get Egon back and then they got stuck or something. Yes, he did. I subscribe to Doomcock, so I see his videos. Yeah, he's got his fan film video. He was talking a little bit on High Council, which we got a shout out. I got a shout out. And Susan too on the High Council last night. Actually, Jeff invited me, and I didn't see it. Well, invited me on one platform, and then I didn't respond for like a day. And I found the message, and I responded there. But then he invited me on another platform, and then I didn't see that message for a day, and it was too late. So it was my fault. He tried, but I can't check. I was really busy. I couldn't check my Twitter or my Patreon for like a day, and I missed everything. I missed being like, I missed my big moment of being attacked. I completely missed everything. Some Dreckies came after me and another YouTuber, and I missed it all. Oh well. RGD says Orville suck. What does Orville suck? The TV show? No, I disagree. But you can. That's all right. You're entitled to your opinion. It's better than Star Trek Discovery. Season 2 of Orville needs to get going a little bit. Last episode was really good. I liked it. First 2 were so-so. I wouldn't have started the season like that. Season 1 was really, really good, but they need to pick up the pace a little bit. I'll tell you that right now, but I'm enjoying it. And I have a feeling I'm going to like it more than I like Star Trek Discovery. Now, I would like to like Star Trek Discovery more. Actually, I'd like to like them both. And so there's the people who are against the Orville, and there's the people who don't like Seth. I used to consider myself one of them. I wasn't really the biggest Seth fan, but when he started, I don't know, I think it was since he hosted the Oscars and like his talking, certain jokes about Harvey Weinstein, I started respecting him a little more. Then I saw the Orville season 1. Now I'm a fan. I gave Star Trek Discovery a fair shake. We were one of the first channels, although nobody was watching, to go live. I went live right after the first 2 episodes aired. About 10 minutes after it aired, I was with my friend John. He really liked it. I did not, but I tried. I'm like, I'm not liking this now, but maybe, and I honestly gave it a shot. There was times I complimented it, and I'm like, but I mean, in my heart, I knew like the direction was going was just awful. By the end, I had completely lost it. And yeah, I'm going to bring back some sound for my video. But the whole, I predict next season that Mikey Spock will teach Spock how to be a better Spock. I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm Nerdstradamus again. I was not the only person who said it, but I said it right after the last episode when the Enterprise showed up on, well, Spock must be on that. Considering the timeline, I wasn't sure, but here we go. And I even think I mentioned something about they'll probably base it on the cage, and that's where we're going. Gary, did you see Family Guy is going woke? Rhino 4563 $2. I don't watch the Family Guy, but I'm not surprised. Seth has tendencies, folks. Seth is not. Seth is. Seth is not a centrist. Okay, he's not. So, and there's little teeny moments of it in the Orville, but see, that's what I've been talking about the whole time with Doctor Who. It's like once in a while, I don't care. I mean, you can't. I listen. That's not realistic to think you can't have some. I mean, I would prefer it being even. That's all I ever ask. I prefer it being even. It's like you should be able to make fun of everybody and everything equally. Period. End of story. That way humor's better. That way art's better. And, that way it shows we're all healthy because we can make fun of each other, laugh, and walk away knowing that nobody was really serious. It's a sign of a good, healthy self-esteem. America does not have a healthy self-esteem right now. America is very insecure. And America has taken everything personal right now. And that sucks. That sucks. You should be able to, self-deprecation is great. Does on a daily basis, it's like, I'm an idiot. Yeah, I'm an idiot. So what? Yep. Happy though. Thanks for watching it for me. Hey, you're welcome, Alex Brown. I'm looking forward to it. Listen, it did a lot of good things for the channel. So if there's more Star Trek Discovery and more Section 31, and then eventually this stuff gets good, then that's just good Star Trek to cover. And if it doesn't get good, well, it's just bad Star Trek to cover. Something to do. It's something to do. All right, let's get up to the chat here. Thoughts on the new Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, James? I will get to that. That's a very good question. Hang on, let me. I'm a little behind on super chats, James, and I'll get to that. Okay, buddy. Sorry about that, super chatters. I didn't have my window up. Tharies. Oh man, saw you making videos up there. That's good. Hang on. I'll get to you, Tharies. Factual opinion for $2. Hello, new here. I enjoy both the Orville and Discovery. And I was asking if there was people out there like that, and that's great. That's great. Hey, if you enjoy them both, rock on, man. Just keep in mind when I start ripping the Discovery, which I probably will. I mean, it could be different. It's nothing personal to anybody who likes it. It is just or nothing personal to people in the show. It's just me ripping a show. So I don't judge you for liking it. Don't judge me for not liking it. That's all. And we can get along, and we can talk about the Orville. We can agree on that. We're not going to agree on everything. Me and Mrs. Nerdrotic do not agree on everything. That'd be terrible. That'd be cultish if we agreed on everything. You're wonderful. No, you're wonderful. No, you're wonderful. Then you get those glassy eyes. JPRPH1 499. Hail Gary, have to run and mind. Oh, no, you don't. Cancel your appointment. It's the nooner, dude. Just check in. No, it's all good. Like the vids on Wired article and Vader. Thanks for your efforts. Hey, thanks for checking them out. I really appreciate it. That Wired article video was one of the hardest videos I ever made, because it was just like hard. Some of them come easy, some of them don't. That one took me 3 days. It's super late. I mean, it's almost old news at this point. I definitely have one more Doctor Who video coming out, but I don't know about after that. As news happens, yes, but but we're going to be going hard on Star Trek, and then covering some TV shows too. Actually tonight, if Mrs. Nerdrotic gets home in time, we're going to be covering Deadly Class live after we're on Sci-Fi. If you want to check it out, Mrs. Nerdrotic comes on once in a while to co-host stuff with me. She's cool. She's really smart. Great taste in men. Just kidding. Tharies, hey, again, good job putting out the videos. Keep them up. Well titled, well made. I like that. 2 pounds. My new Doctor Who audio series just launched. Bravo. Thank you very much for the super chat. And I already read that one. Triple R, ridiculed reptile reviews for 20 Swedish dollars. Opinion on Treasure Planet, favorite animated film ever. I like it a lot. I like it. I've only seen it once. I saw it with my kid and I dug it. But it's been years. But it's really, really well made. Really well made. And I love that story. So that's what drew me to it. Tharies, 2 pounds once more. My Doctor Who fan series just launched. You didn't have to do that twice. I'm good. Hey, so check out Tharies' channel. It's THARRIES if you're listening to this for audio. It's on YouTube, and he does some fun Doctor Who stuff. Go check him out. Go check them out. I always say him when I don't really know. Sometimes it could be a man and a woman, like who knows who's involved with the channel. Rhino 4563. And I already read that one, so we're good. James, back to your question, my friend. What did I think of the Homecoming trailer? Don't unsub, people. Okay. The Far From Home trailer. Okay, let me preface this by saying my favorite thing throughout my life has been Spider-Man. It no longer is, sad to say. If I had a channel at the time this stuff was happening, whatever you saw with Doctor Who would have been 50 times worse with Spider-Man. Like, listen, all my life I've loved Marvel Comics, Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That's about it. And punk rock. So, yeah. And I've liked, and of course, my favorite all-time thing is Lord of the Rings. Big Game of Thrones fan, like the Song of Ice and Fire, but Spider-Man is my favorite thing. My favorite comic. My first comic was Marvel Team Up 42. I own a complete run of Spider-Man. I used to own every Spider-Man comic, and I'm talking every European reprint. Now, I might not own some weird reprint that's in Southeast Asia or something like that I've never heard of, that Marvel never made, but anything Marvel made officially, I got my hands on. I have tons of original art. I have the Saw from Spider-Man 2. And like, I own a lot of stuff. I have pumpkin bombs. I had a Spider-Man museum here in San Francisco. So I used to love Spider-Man. Then One More Day happened, and Dan Slott happened, and I stopped liking Spider-Man. So kind of sucks. So I stopped collecting. Even when I owned the store, I was like, I'm done. I read the stuff, brought it back to the store. I was just out. So I found a good stopping point, issue 600, and that was it. That was done. Especially since I sold the comic store, I didn't feel the need to read it anymore because it was just terrible. And it's because I felt like they were doing what Disney's doing now. They were just disrespecting the character. Now, Marvel wasn't SJW Marvel at the time, but they were well on their way under the Quesada era. So this trailer, okay. Nerdrotic Jr. loved it. Absolutely loved it. I like Tom Holland in Infinity War. I say Gauntlet, and Civil War. I thought he was really good. Didn't like Homecoming very much. I thought the Spider-Man was a little too much of a baby in the and too reliant on Tony Stark. I'm a Spider-Man purist. Spider-Man needs no one. Spider-Man used to join no teams. I hate it that he's on the Avengers. I hate it. Spider-Man doesn't have time to do that because he's got to work a job, maybe two, take care of Aunt May, and you know, have a relationship with Mary Jane, which they took away, which that's the other thing I can't stand. MJ is, I think it's official now, right? That's MJ. That's MJ. I don't mind Ned Leeds, you know, the Flash Thompson. No, I don't like it very much either. Like I honestly, I mean, if you put Tom Holland next to that kid right now, it's like he's letting him talk shit to him. I just back of the hand. Before he got powers. Yeah. So, it looks like they might have the Sinister Six. I could have sworn I saw Molten Man, saw Hydro Man. That's cool. That's cool. We got Mysterio. We got the fishbowl helmet. That was cool. The costume, it's okay. I'm again. The effects look terrible. They look terrible. So I'm sorry about that for people who are fans of this stuff. The movie could be fine. It's just a trailer. So Nick Fury is there. That was cool. I'm really confused. And Happy was there. So does this take place after Avengers 4? It must, right? It has to, because he's not alive right now. So huge spoilers, right? No Tony Stark. We were speculating on my Patreon nooner that Tony's probably dead. I think this might confirm it. At least retired, dead, something. I don't know. The trailer itself, underwhelming, but I think they rushed it too soon. The Hydro Man effects look like the Sandman effects from Spider-Man 3, didn't they not? I mean, you know, there's things to get excited about, but I swear the PlayStation 4 game looked better. That PlayStation 4 game is something else. That is Spider-Man. That is the most Spider-Man thing I have seen in 8-9 years. The last good Spider-Man story I read, which led to One More Day, unfortunately, was Back in Black. I loved Back in Black. Back in Black, real quick, he puts his black costume on, and yeah, he takes on Kingpin, and it's good. It's good. Okay, I'm gonna get to the chat. That's what I thought of the Spider-Man. I blame Sony. I don't think Kevin Feige had a lot to do with it. Now they're bringing in the Spider-Man villains, and the reason they're doing that is they're gonna all make them. Sony wants to make their own MCU. There is Mysterio a good guy in this? So what's up, Jason Remington? How's it going? Do I have hope Good Trek will return? Darth Revan, yes. A glimmer. And that's if they get rid of Kurtzman, this new guy, I'm forgetting his Van Sitters. If he starts running the show, at the very least, that guy's a Trekkie, one of the two. Yeah, it can return. I've come around to where they've screwed up the canon quite a bit, but I think they can fix Star Trek. I think they can even fix Doctor Who, if they regenerate after season 12 immediately. But Star Wars, I think it's too late. I hate to say that, but I think it's too late. Holy crap, just watched that Vader film. It is fantastic. Yeah, Jesse, it really is. Like, Kurtzman can't write, says Ariel Coffin. He can't. I mean, like, sorry, dude. I don't know how you got a job, and good for you for climbing up there and climbing the ladder. You know what? A lot of people make it up there, and they're not cut out for it. You can't make fun of everything and everyone and everything. According to some groups, are too weak to handle jokes. Exactly. That's where the true bigotry lies. Cato, you're absolutely correct. That's where the true bigotry lies. When you look at somebody as a weaker class, as a marginalized class, it's like protecting a puppy in the road. That's what it is. That's not treating somebody like a human being. Do some people have it worse off than others? Yeah. Oh yeah. and it will continue to be that way. But like I said in the video, progress, not perfection. We cannot, and what we're doing is we're expecting perfection right now, and what's behind it really has nothing to do with that. It's trying to change a system. That's what's really going on. Nobody wants to come out and say it. Artemis Over Easy says, time to shave. No, I would have to use a razor. And I'm not using Gillette razor. I don't use Gillette razors anyway. So that was easy. I do use razors though, because I don't want my beard growing up to my eyeballs. It's not a good look. Spock and STD is so amazing. Halam899. I see your sarcasm. I'm going up the chat here. Oh, that's why the dogs are freaking out. I don't know if you guys caught that. Thunder. We never get thunder here, ever. Oh, by the way, yeah. So there was an earthquake this morning. It was a small one. It woke me up. I've had no sleep. The dogs are completely spooked right now, and I think it's because of the thunder. I was wondering what it was, but the dogs are like all under the table, huddled up. I'm like, ooh, what's going on? Now I know why. Have I ever seen Jay Moore, the Jay Moore series Action? It's a pretty accurate view of Hollywood. I haven't seen it, but I'm aware of Jay Moore, and he was on a radio show for a while. Oh yeah, he had a radio, a sports radio show, right? Because yeah, shave Pecker Spock with Gillette, says Natasha. Yep. Mikey Spock will teach Spock to be Spock. Yes, and teach Spock how to shave. I bet you she'll teach Spock how to shave. Oh, I need to finish my thought from earlier. I think it would be fun to pick, like, throw in a suggestion. Guess canon violations of Star Trek Season 2. It's an audience participation thing. I can even make a video about it. I can go back through the chat and make a video about it. You can guess your best canon violation and try to make it semi-serious. I mean, there could be funny ones, but you try to make, like, right off the bat. I mean, because we've already had some in the short treks, and the writers are not trying to do it. They're just so ill-informed because their canon camp was probably 2 hours and mostly lattes and talking about relationships and stuff. Yeah, so we can guess the canon violation. Like with Spock, it's really unlimited what we can think of. Last Orville episode was the best one of the season, but I wish they would steer around that the PC. When they made it about vaccination, I thought, oh no, not another thing the SJWs can sink their teeth into. GPAC Picas 9, yes. The vaccination thing did perk my ears up a little bit. I'm like, don't go there. Just don't. Uh-oh. I'm getting blurry. Hang on, folks. My camera likes to just get blurry once in a while, so I just got to turn it on and turn it off. Not that you need to see me. Most of you are listening anyway. Yeah, there's hints of it, but again, if they steer around it, like About a Girl was a real clever way to deal with something when with the whole sex change of a boy into a male. There was a lot of stuff dealt with there, and some of it, and it showed both sides. I thought it was really well done. But like, I think Hollywood should really steer to what Aquaman did. Like, let's not be PC at all for a little while. Let's take a break from it. How about zero politics in absolutely everything for the next, 2 to 3 years, please. No, while we're at it, no reboots and no prequels. And I think we're going to start seeing that. And I've said it before, and I said it in my Aquaman review, thanks to China. China hates that shit, and bless them for it. Start making more stuff for China. Then if it's going to be less political, then I am all for it. All for it. If it's just, hey, we're going to make something fun. I don't need to be moved all the time. Every time I go to a film and a TV show, I do not need to be moved. It is not necessary. I need to be entertained. That's it. That's what most of us want. You know, and that was my whole point in the video is that, you know, that Sarah girl was talking about how important it was to put social justice because it's good guys versus bad guys. And I'm just gonna guess she probably doesn't work a 40 to 50 hour a week job and comes home every day and just doesn't want to. Sometimes you just don't want to think. You know, I want to go and watch Ghostbusters 3. I don't want to hear I don't want to hear Peter Venkman talk to me about the environment. I don't. I want to see him bust a ghost, and I want to see the Doctor in whatever form. I want to see the Doctor travel in time and space and take on an alien. It doesn't need to be Cyberman. Could be anything. Could be anything. But no, this they wanted to turn the mirror into men. And yeah. Oh, very much so, Lubella. Seth is a liberal. He is in Hollywood. They all have to say that if they want to get jobs. If only if you get big, then you can come out of the closet on that one. Be like Tom Selleck and Bruce Willis. James Woods. He's a bit of a Destiny Captain. It's Nerdrotic channel for now. I guess I should what's up, Mako? I guess I should announce that now. Tomorrow, guys. Hopefully it just doesn't screw me in the algorithm, but it's time. I had my Patreons. Let's do that. My patrons vote. And it's honestly something I've wanted to do since I started the channel and just never got around to it. Is we're going to drop the channel. It's just going to be Nerdrotic. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. It's going to coincide with a video, so hopefully everything is fine. I drop a video, we get a few views, keeps everything going. And if it doesn't, well, hey, I'm happy. I'm really happy. Yeah, we hit 31,000 yesterday, and we're just cruising along. You know, it's great. Do I dislike STD so much that you will not watch season 2? I don't know how to say your name. Sorry, I'll just spell it out. MHSGDFSHDF. If I didn't have a channel, I would not watch it. I wouldn't buy it. Nope. But I have a channel, so I pay for CBS, and I will be covering it. And if it gets good, I'll tell you. I'll tell you if it gets good, in my opinion. Maybe STD is Michael Burnham's fever dream. It seems like it. Oh my God! On the anti-trekkers, I'm sure somebody said this before, but on his live stream today, somebody said, "Yeah, you know how you defeat the Borg? Just send them Michael Burnham, and they'll have found perfection." Borg defeated. I thought that was funny. Yeah. So, no, if I didn't have a channel, I would not be watching it. No, I wouldn't want to pay for that. And then I have to pay extra for, I mean, the CBS All Access is not going to last. I know, newsflash. It's not going to last. It's not going to survive the streaming wars. What's going to happen in the streaming wars, guys? Everybody's going to come out with their own streaming service. A bunch of them are going to fail, and then they're going to have to do what they don't want to do. They're going to be right back in bed with the cable companies again, except it's not going to be the cable companies. It's going to be Netflix and Amazon, and they're going to have to sign exclusive deals or packages and all that stuff. And Netflix and Amazon and maybe Hulu will carry their stuff after their streaming service fails. And they're just right back in that one again. So we'll see. CBS will not be the one that survives. Right now they're making a huge push because now's the time. It has to succeed now, because if it does not succeed now, then they're done. They're done, and they were already behind. The CBS All Access is glitchy as hell. By the way, it's absolutely glitchy as hell. It stops all the time. If you pause something, you risk not being able to see the thing. Yeah, it's just, you know. But so was HBO Now for a while, and HBO Now is better. Things get better. But I mean, Netflix and Amazon are solid. They look great. Isn't Bill Maher Seth's best friend? I don't know that. Comics are for stupid people. Yeah, Bill Maher. Yeah, yeah. Who watch? I mean, like, I don't want to insult. I haven't watched Bill Maher and God, since he was on Comedy Central. Is CBS ghosting Orville? No, they did. Did they change? Yeah, because they used to be on Sunday. Star Trek Discovery used to be on Sunday, so I think maybe I don't know. Was the Orville on Thursday last year? I can't remember. It's interesting. Well, you know, they moved Star Trek to Thursday because they didn't want to compete with some of the other Sunday shows. But I guess it's a good time to tell you about the insiders. So some of us YouTube channels have insiders. People contact us all the time, and sometimes it's legit, sometimes it's not. I have no way of officially knowing. One of my insiders I know is legit because I know him. So don't read too much into any announcements. And like I said earlier in the live stream, if Star Trek Discovery season 2 is a resounding success, I mean, brings in hundreds of thousands of subscribers and stuff like that, then of course everything's full steam ahead. I mean, it's really obvious stuff. If they don't bring in hundreds of thousands of subscribers and they bring in, like, I don't know, thousands of subscribers, that's not a resounding success. That's actually a resounding failure because these things are extremely expensive to run. It's cheaper than broadcast television, but it still costs some money to run. Excuse me. All right. Get back down there. If they go ahead with the Section 31 show, it should just be called Section 31. Leave off the Star Trek from the tag, and they can get away from the whole lot. Also, 30K, whoop. Thank you. Deceptic Codger. Yeah. If they get rid of Alex Kurtzman, I would start having hope for the Picard series. I will be, God. If I don't make the dang video by tomorrow, then I'm going to do a live stream, a little quick live stream on what I think the Picard series is based on. Because I'm pretty damn sure I know what it is. There is something out there that was considered canon at one time. I'm not sure if it still is. Canon's kind of a funky thing. That's out there that really lays out what kind of the last thing he did in the Prime timeline. When I cover Star Trek Discovery, you'll see when I mean, like, I try to take on a show as fair as I can. The problem with Star Trek Discovery, unless they start straight up erasing stuff from season 1, I'm going to have a problem with absolutely everything. But you know, if it, yeah, I'll point it out. The thing with Star Trek, and when our friends out there start covering every episode, they're going to see how split the fan base really is. It's not like Doctor Who. Doctor Who in the beginning was kind of split. By the time it was over, pretty much everybody was mad for different reasons. There's the people who are okay with Jodie but just hated the writing. There's people who just didn't like Jodie, and there's people who just didn't like the politics. Some people just all three, or just two of the three. But it turned into a majority, and people can be in denial about it all they want, but just see when the next season rolls around. With Star Trek, totally different story. And I'm just going off of what I saw in the chat, but man, it's 50-50 right down the middle. There's people who still like the show. There's, you know, a lot of people are on like, it's Star Trek. It's Star Trek. It's not, to me, though. It's so not Star Trek. It's got a Star Trek title on it, and it's got some familiar things. But yeah. And then bringing in Spock. And it's rumored right now, but do not be surprised if you hear within the next, I would say, I'm not guaranteeing this, but in the next week or two, a Pike Spock spinoff. It was rumored by another YouTuber, and I thought it was, you know, and it's still BS right now, but I listen to the YouTuber. I'm like, oh, his logic is pretty good. Like, why would they bring him in? The only reason they don't announce it now is because it would make Sonequa Martin Green look bad, and that would automatically become your number one show. And Star Trek Discovery would be once the Picard series hits, that's going to be the number one show, right? I mean, that's going to be the one everybody watches, and Discovery will be an afterthought, at least for the first couple episodes. And bite size, that is something we need to keep in consideration with Star Trek Discovery. And people look at it logically. Your Star Trek fans, please look at it logically. The tardigrades lawsuits of the real deal. I don't know what happened. I think CBS could have made this go away very easily by just working with Anas Abdeen behind the scenes, and nobody would have ever heard of it again. But they decided to be dicks about the whole thing. And you know what? They could win the lawsuit, but they're going to lose. There's always going to be a certain amount of people out there who think it's ripped off now. It's already tainted. Star Trek Discovery is they had to go through with it, and it must be frustrating for them, the people who were just putting the money and the investors into this thing and didn't really have anything to do with it creatively. They're like, all we wanted was a Star Trek show to start our damn streaming service. And we got like people leaving and actors' schedules conflicting. And we've had to restart the damn thing and reshoot the thing all to hell. And now the episodes cost $10 million. Yes, $10 million an episode, for Christ's sake. It's like, can't we just get a Star Trek show? Maybe it's karma. Les Moonves, maybe it's karma. But we have a new regime coming into CBS. New regimes like to have their people around. They're going to, of course, there's a bunch of money spent on this stuff. They're not going to shit can everything, but there will be big changes. Trust me. I have not checked out Dust. I will check it out. Michael Dignam. Thanks for watching, STD. Personally, the promise of fame and success couldn't get me to watch an IP. I struggled to finish the first episode. Congrats on 30K. Thanks, DeForce 10. Yeah, it's therapeutic. It's good for the show. But I will stick with my promise on this. Like, if season 2 is just more of the same, and then they announce a season 3 and it's going to be more of the same, I will not be covering it. No, I'll be done. Then. I'm not going to go through 3 seasons of that. I would rather find another show to cover and be good. And if it gives up a few clicks, so be it. But yeah. And plus, I mean, like, really, if I'm bitching about a show within the 3rd season, that's going to get old. That's going to get real old. So, I mean, yeah, this is it. It either gets good or it doesn't. NPC number 496166392. Hello, NPC. I saw the Orville season 2 episode 3 last night, and holy shit, I cried. That's pretty good for an NPC. That's good. Emotions, you're getting there. Farscape had its time nowadays. Very slow show. I love it. I love Farscape. Absolutely love it. Hello, Mary Ashmead. How are you? What's up? Have you seen Star Wreck in the Perkening? Now that's how you do a Spans. You know what? Maybe I have seen that one, Peter Quinn. I'm not sure. I mean, is it like old? Is it like Hardware Wars? Because that's a fan. I mean, that's a fan film. That's the first fan film I remember seeing. And the first animated one was, of course, Godzilla versus Bambi. Maybe. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know. Here, I will just close. My sync can do that. Hang on just a second, guys. I'm going to get synced here. Be right back. Man, I got to call my internet company. This is like getting to be too much. Man, I am wired up. I've got the gigabit, and it can't be the damn storm. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. That irritates the living crap out of me. You don't have no idea. What do you think about the Disney claiming the Vader fan film? Jan Gunnar, I think it's a complete petty move. Absolute petty move. It's ridiculous, and they didn't need to do it. Listen, they did it to discourage other fan films. They did it to scare everybody. They threatened the kid with his channel. I would take the fan film down. I would not do the second one. And honestly, I would turn my channel into Expanse Theory because I think they would let you make fan films and they'd be okay. Or start making your own original stuff and use that million subs as a platform and start doing your own thing. Like make a web series, do that. Honestly, that's the future, people. I mean, these IPs, screw these guys. Screw these guys. You guys are the most talented people out there. Don't give them your talent. You now have a platform. Yeah, it takes a little while to get attention, but the biggest cost of it, man, getting a student film made even 5 or 6 years ago was a pain in the ass and expensive. Now it is cheaper than ever, easier than ever. You get a platform, or you make friends with somebody with a platform. You get your web series out there. Rebecca Gold's trying a web series. That's the future, because there's some good stuff out there. Homecoming. The Sam Esmail, I didn't like it. It was okay. It was good. It was good. It was visually good. It left me kind of, but whatever. It was based on a podcast. So they're starting to make a podcast, which was an audio drama, which I didn't know because I'm old and internet. And I really love audio dramas. So you could do an audio drama. You can start an audio drama like right now. You get a few of your friends like Tharies is doing and just start something creative. And this is like the indie music scene. So like I used to, I mean, I've been a comic fan all my life, but I've also been a music fan all my life. And I got my retailing skill from working in record stores and being, in the punk rock scene in SoCal in the 80s and the metal. It just, I love all music. I love all music, except for, no, I like some modern pop. I pretty much like some bits of everything. I can find something good in pretty much everything. Maybe not modern country, but I love old country. Oh my God, I love Johnny Cash. But reminds me of my pappy. Yeah, so I'm gonna get some super chats there and hang on just a second. But I think that's what YouTube is. And in this streaming wars thing, I never hear YouTube mentioned, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I should just be quiet because YouTube didn't even know what it had until very recently. This is the underground music scene, but much better. Much better. It's the underground TV scene. I mean, something we've never had. It's brilliant. I just guested on Creature Features. Vince Van Dahl, thank you again. I'll let you guys know when it's going to air. It's in the next week, but that was the first time I've ever been interviewed on TV, and got to chat with him a little bit. And he owns the station and has an antenna and gave me some pointers, and like I really appreciated it. And it was interesting to see like how GD expensive everything is, and honestly, I would just focus on YouTube. It's easier. It's so much easier. Yeah, you got to get a better internet connection than I have, which I'm handling that today. Trust me. Listen, I pay $140 for my internet connection, and if I'm having a problem with it, I'm gonna be a little mad. I got the business, but I think I got the business. I think that's what it was. The business one was giving me the business. Or maybe it's my machine. I don't know. Okay, let's get to the super chats here. The Big Red Bear, Canadian $10. The ground is becoming fertile for a new franchise to come out and sweep away the old powers. Star Trek and Star Wars have dug themselves into a hole. Something like Warhammer 40K movie would be a big problem for them. If done right, yes. Honestly, Lord of the Rings for a very short time made people forget about both of those things. Star Wars was out at the time Lord of the Rings kicked its ass. Why? Because it's better. Don't get mad at me, Star Wars fans. Lord of the Rings is just a better story. Star Wars changed the world. Okay. It's a classic movie that I love to death, but I can't watch it again. I can't. It's like Stairway to Heaven. It's a great song. I ain't listening to it anymore. Lord of the Rings, I don't get tired of, but that's just personal taste. There's some people who absolutely hate it, and I understand that. Thank you for the 10 Canadian dollars. Observer Dude, a Warhammer movie, by the way. I know not much about it. I would watch the hell out of that. It's right up my alley, though. Observer Dude, £5. Ghostbuster 216 was an utter waste of time and money. Yeah, they could have fed some children with that or something. And then Paul Feig being really, was he the first in the internet age, the first director, the first creator to actively go after the fans? Maybe there was somebody before, but like he was the one, the most noticeable. Maybe I could be wrong. Correct me on that. But he was the first idiot to take a shot at the fans. And how's his career been lately? I'm wondering. Not great, huh? He was on top of the world at the time. But that's how things go. Scaro Trek, $5. Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who are now so bad because the creators have no experience in science or the world beyond the film industry. Thoughts? Absolutely. And I love how you said science, basic science. You have to have a knowledge of basic science. I wish I could do a video on the breakdown, but and listen, I'm going to say this all to all my fellow YouTubers out there. CBS is coming hard. Do not even put a still up when you're talking about Star Trek Discovery. Just put the camera on you and talk. Do not put any visual aids. Don't get a picture off the internet. Don't do anything. They are copyright striking and they have no right to do it, and you have to fight it. But when you do that, it hurts. It's not even worth the waste of time. Just put yourself up there or put your logo up and talk, and most people won't care, but they're coming after people. I know that for a fact. So science, I wanted to do a video on the fight between Lorca and Georgiou because it's the dumbest fight I've ever seen in the history of television. And there is a scene that is so god awful. I laughed. I can't remember the comedy, but there was a comedy out there where a guy is fighting somebody and he fights it off by he's got a guy around, giving him a headlock, and he takes his leg and kicks the guy in the face, but you can tell it's a fake leg that they folded up. So there's a scene where Lorca is fighting Georgiou, and Michelle Yeoh, who everybody goes, she was a badass because she was in Crouching Tiger. Yeah, Crouching Tiger was like a dance and it was fake. Okay, she wasn't an actual badass. She had stunt people. She is a badass. She's a badass woman. She's a great actress. I like her. I love that movie. But she's fighting Jason Isaacs, who is a foot taller than her, and he's got her in a headlock, and he's got a knife going back, and she fights him off. He's got the knife going in. She pushes the knife back, and then she kicks him in the face. So he's completely behind her, and she takes her left leg and kicks him in the face. Now, if you see it in slow motion, her leg goes like up to here, and then he backs off, and it's hilarious. And listen, Star Trek has a long tradition of that. Original series, stuntmen, I know. But the worst fight I've ever seen. And that's something that really shouldn't go. I mean, yes, you can point it out in the original series, but it's something that really shouldn't go down in the science-based Star Trek, especially when you're doing, look at the expensive sets. You could have had her fight him in a different way, in a way that would have been smart, in a way where you could see how she won. There is a way for a smaller person to win a fight against a bigger person. It totally, yes, it exists. Being sneaky, going for the legs, going for the knees. If she has a knife and she's on the ground, she's, just slices his Achilles, something like that. But it was ridiculous and hilarious. I even shared it on Twitter. It's one of the funniest pictures I've ever seen. So yeah. Long story short there on that one, Scaro Trek, they've lost all thought of science. It's sonar in space, sonar in fracking space. And I'm an idiot for even missing. I missed it on the recap, and Doomcock, full respect. He's the one who pointed that out. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. I was so, dumbfounded by the rest of the episode. More than a channel. It is a way of life. Gamer Gambit. Oh, $2. Thank you for the $2. I appreciate you, man. You're a good patron, good dude, right? Sorry. good person. I'm saying. The Big Red Bear for Canadian $2. I know you've been busy, but did you miss my super chat before? No, and I'm sorry if I ever miss them. Just hit at Nerdrotic. You don't have to pay again, please. I feel bad about that. I almost feel like I gotta refund you. I wish I could just refund you. Just hit at Nerdrotic and say, did you miss? Because sometimes I get on a roll and like I'm not even looking at the chat right now. I'm gonna have to get back that. Brent Newman, £2. Shout out to the wrenches. Mako, thanks for being here. Good to see you. The DJ D Show, Mary Ashmead, Johnny Pappas, Sculpted Leather Art by Viking Bitch, Movie Finobi. Thank you so much and of course, Penn Farm Girl. And thank you, Brent. You're always good at pointing that out. Montana Horseman, $5. Have to go feed care for my horses. So glad you post your live streams for later. Here's for the Pete's Fund. Cheers, Montana Horseman. Yes, I do not take my streams down. No. We started as a live stream channel, and that's, I do more videos now, but we're never going to get rid of the live streaming. Nope. It does okay. People don't hate it. I mean, I think people know what they're getting into when they come here. So that's cool. So great. Yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying them later. It's good to hear that. And a lot of people are. So, if you're watching it later and you can make it live, I'd love to see you here. Muppy Heingart, $2. $2 for mentioning Godzilla versus Bambi. I freaking love that movie. Yeah, thank you. The Big Red Bear, thanks for answering. Didn't realize you did this at the end, Molly. No, you do not have to apologize. I need to do the apologizing. I should have read it earlier. Big Red Bear, you're awesome. Thank you so much. No apology necessary. Alex Klutzman is here. Thank you. I mean, you must be busy getting ready to destroy Star Trek for another season. And I do enjoy Star Trek. The one time I watched it, and I like fans. And I like fans that like my Star Trek. And Drekkies are the future, and the era of fake has arrived. And it's so good. That interview, God, the interview I read, it's months and months ago. Every one of his sentences started with and I don't know. At first I thought it was the writer, but then I listened to the audio and I'm like, oh, he does start all of his sentences with and. I mean, maybe it's okay now, but when I was in school, that was not okay. I know because I used to do it. Joel Tom Burrow, $5. Michelle Yeoh is a badass. See films like Super Cop, seen it. Silverhawk, Wing Chun, Heroic Trio, and she did her own stunts as well back in the day, but she is not a young lady anymore. And maybe it's not her fault, but go watch the fight scene. I'm just saying, watch the fight scene. It's not her best work, but it's probably the stunt coordinators, and also they're not the only ones who did it. I pointed this out in our Uranus Awards. Krypton was actually was much worse than Star Trek Discovery, of having the 105-pound person beat the crap out of the 300-pound person. Now, if you have superpowers, sure. If you're Supergirl, yeah, kick ass away. But last time I checked, they don't have superpowers. But yes, I love Michelle Yeoh. Super Cop is great. By the way, Farmer Hank, $5. Totally right about science. The 2D versus the 3D space episode at the end of the last Orville gave me a braingasm. That was cool. I'm not, Farmer Hank, not 100% sure about the science behind that, but at least they tried, and they did have, until he got in trouble, Neil deGrasse Tyson as an advisor on that show. No, Star Trek doesn't want to do that anymore. I mean, it's been reported everywhere now that they want to be Star Wars now. This Red Angel thing, they've changed the opening, and they tried to make it look more Star Trek, but the Red Angel, yeah. I mean, I don't hear anybody asking if Jason Isaacs is going to come back, because apparently the other Lorca is out there somewhere still, maybe, or he's just dead, or maybe I don't know. Within the first 4 episodes, didn't they kill 3 Klingon big bads? And like, oh, this is the big bad. Nope, he died. No, this is the big bad. No, he died. And then they made, and then like all of a sudden, two bad guys are now all of a sudden on Section 31. So the super secret organization is not really super secret. And well, why don't they just go to their prisons and hire? You know, if that's all they hire is bad guys who all of a sudden become loyal. I mean, like a person who used to be emperor of an entire system, a cannibal, a space Hitler, basically, is just going to want to be a spy. They're just going to stop wanting to have power, or maybe she'll turn on them later. That'll be the twist. Those clever writers. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, 2 pounds. I do not like Miller's hair in The Expanse. That's how they cut their hair. I thought I was okay with it. Yeah, it could be construed as probably well, it's a mohawk. You know what? God, those haircuts used to be cool, and there's a certain kind of people who just made them uncool now. We need to kind of take that back, but yeah. But you didn't need to pay me to tell me that. I'm okay with it because I'm a big fan of Miller. Are you watching it now? The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey? I know you were talking about watching it. All right, let's get back to the chat. It's been a while. I gotta go up here a little bit. I'm gonna take a sip of Pete's though. How's that sync, people? I'm at the bottom now. Tell me if it's okay or not. Sorry for the silence. Binge season 1 today. Loved it. It's so good, right? The Expanse is good. Star Trek fans, Star Trek Discovery fans, go watch The Expanse. And I know some of them don't want to watch The Expanse because I recommend it or others recommend it who don't like Star Trek Discovery. Don't let that get in the way of your enjoyment of good sci-fi. I mean, put the personal stuff aside and go watch The Expanse. And we can all talk positively about it when it airs. Here's the bummer about The Expanse that I just got confirmed today. And this is the only bummer because everything about it is good. Season 4 is going to have more money. The casting is great. Everything's wonderful. It's dropping all at once. I don't like it when stuff drops all at once. I know that's what the kids like these days. Problem is, I don't think they should do that with The Expanse because The Expanse needs word of mouth. The Expanse needs people talking about it. And when you drop a show once a week and it's really effing good, like Game of Thrones would have never gotten as big as it had if it had dropped all at once. It was people like, what the hell, every week. Reaction videos, everything. They need to do that at least one more season with The Expanse because it needs more viewers, even though it's on Amazon. That needs to happen. So please, Jeff Bezos, because I know you watch every one of my live streams, which you don't drop it all at once. Change your mind on that one, please. Tina Beebe starting The Expanse tonight. I'm going to watch it simultaneously with friends in another state. That is great. Is The Expanse going on hiatus? No, it is. It is going to premiere in. I don't know if you're out there lurking, Belinda. April? No, maybe May. Maybe May. Maybe June. April, May, or June. It will premiere. You're welcome, Stephanie B. She says you got me into The Expanse. It's good to see your smiling face. Tina Beebe, it's good to see what the Valkyries. Is that what you got? Odin's channel. Odin has a beard, so I like him. Best sci-fi show since Battlestar Galactica, says Mako. 100% agree, my friend. 100% agree. And I loved BSG, Battlestar Galactica. You mentioned earlier that you love Lord of the Rings. What are your expectations about an Amazon series that will be about the early life of Aragon? Providential. Providence. I'm gonna mess up your name. Providential. Shen. Tell me how to pronounce that, please. Great question. Tempered because it's 2019 now, and we'll see if they turn it into listen, it can totally have diverse casting. That'd be great. I just don't want that to be their priority. I want their priority because they paid $1 billion for this and they need to make it within a certain amount of time or they lose the rights. Just care for the story first. Care for the story first. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Don't like, oh, well, we got to do this, like Doctor Who did. Don't check PC boxes. Just make a good show. And you know what? Consider the best people for the role, but consider everybody, which they do. I want it to be good so much. I'm going to be rooting for it, but if it sucks, I'll tell you. Hey, Watchmen, when they announced the Watchmen TV show, I kind of think Watchmen, the damage has been done. They did a freaking before Watchmen comic. So I was hopeful for it at first. And then I found out who's writing it. And then, I saw a little bit of live action from it and aneurysm. Was it? Stop saying Miller. My brain key is isolating it. Oh, that's good. I like that. Miller. It's Miller time. Oh, this is cool. Michael Wells at Nerdrotic. My wife and I have been watching you on Roku. There's no way to participate in the conversation. I don't like that. But we love your videos. Well, you're in here now. Oh, you're on your phone? Man, Roku's got to work on, or YouTube has got to work on that. That's actually a good thing to bring up. You can use your keyboard on Roku, and if it's just internet access, then it's something to do with YouTube's app, so they can do something about that. That is awesome. I'm on Roku. That's cool. That's totally cool. By the way, if my buddy Vince from Creature Features is listening, what's up? Creature Features is a show here in the Bay Area. It's on Coffee, KOFY 20. It has a website, so you can watch it anywhere. I don't think it's blocked in any country. So, and it's just, listen, they show like a bunch of reruns and sitcom reruns. But on Saturday, they do Creature Feature where they show like really bad B movies, and then they interview people like Aaron Brockovich, Timmy from Lassie, and then idiot YouTubers once in a while. So it's cool. I like it a lot. Well, Big Red Bear, why do you think all of these properties have become so cancerous? It is something with how university educations are impacting the writers, or is it they have no life experience? Ooh, I think, okay. So to repeat that, why has it become so one-sided and almost childish in the writing of these shows, and cancerous and hateful in some stuff? Yes, I'm going to say all of the above. I'm going to say it's too many like-minded people traveling together in circles. There's no, and that happens on both sides too. You got to mix it up. I mean, like we're just so divided now, and really, Hollywood and the BBC have been just playing hard towards that, and it sucks. It sucks. But yeah, it has a lot to do with our universities now, and definitely no life experience. I mean, especially if you roll out of school and just go into your job and don't like do that European trip or something to go see the world. It's very important to do. Now, like I don't know much about the universities because I've picked up my ex-wife at one, and I've taken my son to one, but I have never been to one. Now, San Francisco State, I did an adult education program there, did a film school thing there, but never been to one. Plenty of life experience though. How much Do you want to bet that the Red Angel is Mikey Spock from the future? The Soul of the Dragon. I would bet my house right now on that. I've actually been predicting that. I so think it's Michael Burnham from the future. And it'll be, she'll have sacrificed herself to save Spock and or the Discovery or something. And the end of season 2 or if the series goes on, that series will end with Kirk studying Michael Burnham at the academy or something like that, or reading a book in his apartment and saying, I study Michael Burnham, just like Faulkner in Altered Carbon. Yep. Oh, yep. University professor currently procrastinating to argue with me. Qualis Gordon, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. No, I'm going to say hashtag not all, but certainly it's sometimes it's one-sided at the universities. Remember, I'm in San Francisco. My son went to school in San Francisco. I have a son in probably the most liberal junior high in the country. And my son went, and I went to San Francisco State for a little while. So, I mean, if you want to argue against some of that, yes, but hashtag not all for sure. When are you on creature features? I'm in the UK. Sid of the Ed. It's either this Saturday or next. So it's going to be 10 o'clock my time, which is, you guys are 8 hours ahead. So it would be 10, 12, probably early in the morning for you. Not that early in the morning. Oh God, my brain is 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Sunday morning, Sid. So I will let you guys know. I'll put a post in the community section. Yeah, I'm in kind of Kansas City, different kind of liberal. Yeah, I mean, like that's what it is, and that's I want to point that out. Is there's different kinds of liberal, just like there's different kinds of right, and that's why I don't talk about politics here. No, I believe me, I get along with half of my friends are, well, some are super duper progressive, and some are just like artists, classic is the best way to put it. Classic liberal. I don't think anybody's got a problem with that. I think most of us just tend to be center because we don't have time for that shit. Mikey Spock died on her way to her home planet. We can only Mickey Spock, says Dr. Meatball. I can only hope. Heavy Fested Nerdrotic channel. Oh, what key aspects and components of sci-fi shows and movies do you think is missing in today's works? Whoa, that's deep. Fun. They stopped having fun. Even the Expanse, to a certain extent, is a little dark and grim, and it's due to budget constraints. They, remember for any sci-fi we were getting in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was the aliens were a hive mind and they were on a bleak desert planet and everything is Mad Max, and then the Fifth Element comes out, and well, it didn't blow anybody's mind in the theater. It was much later because it didn't do very well in the theaters because it was ahead of its time. But it was this big, colorful, flashy, crazy movie, hyper kinetic, and that's what the future would be. We need more. Like Altered Carbon, again, was not perfect, but in tone it was heavy fisted. That's what's missing from sci-fi. It's missing the whole package. That it either wants to be all dark and grim or all this or all that. Mix your genres a little bit. And you know what? A little bit of sexy is good. A little bit of levity, funny is good. One of the biggest things missing from the prequels is a Han Solo type of character, your lovable rogue who can be some comic relief and a badass equally. I think that's a very important character to have in a sci-fi, male or female. Like Battlestar Galactica, Cara Thrace was that character. So that's what's missing right now. There's some very talented writers out there who aren't getting work anymore, which is kind of sad. Mark Zickery's been trying to get his Space Command thing going for a long time.
That guy's a talented dude, and I mean, he should be writing Star Trek Discovery right now, to be honest with you. What's up, Andre Merrick? Thanks for the question. Now I'm gonna get back to the super chat. So that's a really good question. There's better people than me that can answer that, but I want my sci-fi to be fun. Not all the time, but you know, there's a fun taken seriously. Does that make any sense at all? It's not sci-fi, but kind of the perfect movie. The two perfect movies for me are Big Trouble in Little China and Raiders of the Lost Ark. So they mix a lot of genres in there. And that's why I used to love Doctor Who. Doctor Who used to have like little moments of horror. It's definitely funny. There's fantasy. It goes all over the place. Another perfect film for me is this is just for me, guys, is Time Bandits. Time Bandits. I know they're not totally sci-fi. A perfect sci-fi film for me is, well, I mean, the recent example is Guardians of the Galaxy. I know I always say Winter Soldier is my favorite MCU movie, but I think it's actually Guardians of the Galaxy, because Guardians of the Galaxy was like one of my favorite movies, the best movie I've seen, and it was the most Star Wars. It had everything I liked. It was funny, had heart. That's what I like in a movie. I enjoy your podcast. Thanks. I support Axanar and Star Wars theory. So sick of the SGW stuff invading sci-fi. Love the Orville. John Zucchero, I do as well. I am as well. And you notice when John comes in here and says, I'm sick of the SJW stuff, I have never, ever, and I go to a lot of other YouTubers. Man, sometimes I'm in the chat for That Umbrella Guy. Sometimes I'm in the chat for World Class Bullshitters. Sometimes I'm always in the chat for Jim Cock. Sometimes I'm in the chat for the Anti-Trekker. And people will point out SJW, but nobody ever says, I want more right-wing politics in my stuff. Nobody says, they just want them out. They just want them out. Take a break. Pump the goddamn brakes on this shit. I'm not supposed to cuss. I get mad. And you know, fun. Remember that? Does anybody remember laughter? Thundercats Ho, is Big Finish canon or head canon? War Doc tonight. Oh, is it tonight? Oh, dude. I corrected such a wrong. Hang on. By the way, this is Mrs. Nerdrotic's part of her collection. I'm switching everything out to Star Trek by the way, Evil Dead 2's out on 4K too. That's badass. Hang on. I'm gonna drop some stuff. This place is a bit of a mess. I got my War Doctor. Finally got my 6-scale War Doctor. I was like, I can't believe I hadn't had that sooner. I say it's canon. But I think it's actually head canon. Let me know in the chat, guys. Who do you could? I would say Big Finish is canon. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying Big Finish is canon. I kind of assumed it was. Star Trek canon. So Star Trek canon is the show and the movies. According to Gene Roddenberry, the animated series is no longer canon. But man, there were some people telling me during Star Trek Discovery that it was canon. I consider it canon. The books, not canon. But some of the comics are. There's going to be people who are going to say no, but I was selling the comics for a while. I'm not going to say all the comics. I'm just going to say certain comics are considered canon. Video to come. That's what you call a tease. Does anybody remember? Yeah, that's from Led Zeppelin. Yes, thank you, Mary. Good call on that one. That's Song Remains the Same. Song Remains the Same. Shop smart, S smart, damn straight. Yeah, it is. What's the date today? Oh, 4 days till I go see Bruce. So Bruce Campbell's going to be, if you guys are in the Bay Area, tickets are $45. Bruce Campbell's going to be at the Castro, the classic. Yeah, it's in the Castro Castro District. Guess what? Nobody bites in the Castro District. Actually, the food is fantastic down there, and it's really clean. So you go to the Castro and go to the Castro Theater, and it's like an old-timey 20s theater. Bruce Campbell's going to be doing a Q&A, and we're going to be watching Evil Dead 2. $45. Go see the king. Go hail the king, baby. I'll be there. I'm going to be there. Mrs. Nerdrotic isn't going to be happy with your filthy, flarty filth, Gary. You know, she's not. She's the one who told me to stop cussing. Thanks, Halam. No, I meant I'm listening to War Doctor tonight. Sorry, it's okay. Yes, it is canon. It is canon, Thundercats Ho. And you listen to that. Unfortunately, I only listen to Big Finish at the gym or when I'm on a road trip. You're exactly right. Politics and any flavor are just horrible. We don't care about the politics. Not all of us live in that ridiculous world where that matters. And you know, I always get the argument, Gamer, and I'm sure you do too, and I'm sure everybody is. It does matter. Actually, it doesn't. It doesn't matter at all. What control do we have over any of it? Local elections, sure, yes, absolutely. Pay attention to your local stuff because that's the stuff that directly affects you. But something that doesn't directly affect you is not worth getting upset about. And that shit can upset the crap out of you. I have been, I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I am not some yogi floating around anywhere. I'm not super, I have moments of Zen and that's great. But it's because I avoid stuff I can't control. And I avoid it like the plague now. I don't engage anything. It's just like, I'm not, I don't want to deal with it right now. I'm passing 50 here. I got less, it's not worth my time. Choose your battles. And that's what so I just turned off the news, simply turned it off and never went back and I'm great. I look outside, it's raining. So I know it's raining because I look outside. Big Finish is canon, says Gamer Gambit. I thought it was. I didn't know for sure. I consider it canon. And, we have head canon. So if it's canon to you, then it's canon. Like, Star Trek The Return. That's canon to me because I hate Generations. So I make that canon and it makes me feel better about Kirk. Yep, it's an excuse to people who just want to remain apolitical. Everything has to be one-sided politics where it ends up turning into an ideology battleground instead of actual entertainment. Flopping has been. Why are you flopping? I think we all determine our own canon. That's Matthew Matson. That's it. Head canon. Hashtag head canon. Open it. I will. It'll be back there. Next time I go live, it'll be back there. I don't want to bore you with it, but it would take, for one, I'm very careful about opening it. So it would take me like 15 minutes. I'll be all, and I'd have to go get my razor blade. McGann made Big Finish canon in Night of the Doctor. He references audio companions. He does. Take him on Blade. That is so true. I liked his prequel, Night of the Doctor, as much as I like the 50th anniversary. I have watched that thing 100 times. Star Trek Continues is canon. It is to me. We need more Galaxy Quest canon. God, Joe Murphy, I think they're still going to go ahead with the series. It sucks if there's no Alan Rickman, but I am down with it 100%. I love that movie. See, there's two movies right there. The other one doesn't get as much love, but Galaxy Quest and Sky High are just two great movies. I love them both. I saw it. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Alan Massey, best show out of the BBC was The Young Ones. Discuss amongst yourselves. I'm not going to argue with you on that, Alan. The Young Ones. I absolutely adored The Young Ones. And you were probably around in the States when we here in the States were introduced to the young ones, most of us anyway, is when MTV started playing it in 86. And they just played those 8 episodes over and over again. I have it. And thank you, Gamer Gamut, $5. Big Finish is canon. They redid many of my old episodes that were lost as well. Big Finish will save Doctor Who again, as they did after McCoy. They will. They already save it for me. They do. They do. Okay, Observer Dude, £5. Back to the Future remake is coming. Marty will be a lesbian vegan and Dr. Emma Brown will be a black woman. Marty goes back to the 50s to tackle racism. I know you're joking, but that's going to happen. If they bring back to the Future, you're damn right. It's going to be to create a conversation. Because when I go to choose my movie, I've got my popcorn with my kids and I'm going to go, I need to have a conversation with you and I can't start it myself. Maybe some young soap opera writers from the BBC who just got back from a Coke party and wrote a script overnight can teach me how to talk about racism to my kid. I mean, really, let's think about it. If you say it out loud, and I mean, I'm joking, but was that an entirely inaccurate statement? I'm going to think I might have been right on some of that stuff. Young political playwright, maybe he's partied once in a while. Okay, we can leave out the party stuff. That was kind of a crack. But who's just got out of university, which is fine. But, if we were both the same age, he'd probably kick my ass in a debate, but it wouldn't even be close right now. It's not fair. I've been here longer. I think I cut that part out of my video. I invited the Geeks Guide to the Galaxy, so I'll do it now. They can come on. Anytime to debate. I'll either take off the monetization or we can give the money to charity. And it could be all 3 of you against little old me. And we can debate why there should not be politics in Doctor Who. And I don't mean politics in the sense of you can't go back in history and talk to a politician from the 60s or the 1800s. No, not that. That's not what we're talking about. No current year, like really specific politics. Steve Spam, 120 minutes in the young ones. That was my life. Did we watch anything else? We'd have MTV on with the volume down and listen to our own music because most of the music sucked on MTV, like once in a while. But when 120 minutes, that's when you get like the Jane's Addiction and Mystery Men's great movie. Mystery Men is a great movie. Not a fan of Alan Rickman. Well, nor I liked I've liked a lot of stuff he's in. Love Actually. That awful Robin Hood movie he was brilliant in that. Snape, of course. He was good as Snape. I really hate how Snape ended though. In the books and the movie, and they're very similar. Really did not like how she did that character in the end. Took me a long time to realize that, but I was like, man, that was really effed up. I do not use a Gillette razor blade. I use Dollar Shave Club because it's cheap and they're better. And now I have a double excuse not to go to Gillette. My only opinion on that Gillette ad, guys, and gals, is somebody in the board or the CEO got themselves in some trouble and they had to make like with the wife. So the wife's not going to divorce, but she's all, you are going to make a YouTube video and this is how you're going to make it. And this is your apology to me without, us losing everything. Am I wrong on that one? Okay. Every company will stamp canon any crap just to try to catch the basic fandom. Broly, you're right. You're right. Bottom, the young ones. God bless Rick Mail. Rick Mail. Bottom, greater than the young ones. Rick Mail died so young. Thank you, Cato. This is a call to action for all nerdpanions, haha, Steve Penn, to embrace Doomcocks without respect. We reject. The alternate would be could be Harvey being released. I completely agree with that. Hashtag without respect. Respect, we reject is a hashtag Doomcock started, and it's about just how the franchises are generally treating the fans. And unless we get, glorious treatment, even if we're the worst troll comes at them, what they are supposed to do is take the high road and go, I will take your complaint into consideration. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day. And then, or just ghost people. It's easy. Just mute them, ghost them, but do not respond. Just don't respond. Like, again, right there with the take the politics out for a year. How about just don't respond for you? Maybe just quit Twitter. Like, do you need to be on Twitter? You're getting enough attention. You're a movie star. Mr. Miles, chief engineer. I gave my thoughts earlier, but I'll give you the brief version. It's cool to see some of the villains. I could have sworn I saw Molten Man, but that could have been Mysterio, just being Mysterio. I thought the effects were bad. I'm not crazy. And he said MJ in the trailer, and that kind of pulled me right out. I was like, F this movie. Modern corporate storytelling is an interesting in allegory and subtext in stories today. Good, fast, cheap is the model today, Nerdrotic channel. A story like Blade Runner with no subtext is hollow, Dr. Meatball. That was a really brainy and well said, Dr. Meatball. You're 100% correct. Yeah, the new Voltron cartoon was great, says Angel. I heard it was. Castlevania is great. America tried to do a cheap Young Ones called Oh No, Not Them. Did they? Dorian Brooker? Either that's fallen down one of the Swiss cheese holes in my brain, or I've never heard of that. I don't know. Either is true. Marty may be a woman. I know you're joking, Observer Dude, but you're probably way closer to the truth than you even know. Marta McFly. There you go. Martina McFly. Marty. That's even better, Dr. Meatball. Martina Marty McFly. You're right. Bland to the future. Yes. Brett Newman, Gillette, the best a woke can get. 2 pounds, exactly. YouTubers are talking about a razor, so I guess they did something right. You think that was into it? I'm like, let's troll all the YouTubers. Let's do it now. We'll get so many people talking about our razors. As you can see, I'm not a very good sponsor for razors, so. Oh, wow. Are you familiar with the album from Neil? I am. Again, that's one of those things where I think I remember it, but lots and lots of. You know how Neil was always kind of. They were alluding that he was on drugs. Same with Rick. I was actually on them at the time. Many of them at the same time, and my memory from the 80s is not good. Not good. Alan Rickman should have played Dracula at some point. That would have been really good. Even this lib professor is not on board with the Gillette ad. See? Gillette, just sell razors. Oh, well, you did it now. I guess they weren't really concentrating on who their base was, their base audience. No, Alan Rickman and concert. What was he playing, James? They need to bring back Fringe, the TV series. That would be that. You know what? That is like one of the few JJ things that ended pretty decent, and I liked. Yeah. Gillette did a feminist female empowerment advert some years ago and spewed BS narratives. Venus, use your and oh boy, really, Jason? That's terrible. Good evening, Norway. Good afternoon from San Francisco. Good afternoon is it's 1:04 here in San Francisco. Currently dumping ass rain, thunderstorms. Sir Retsum, I'm going to finish season 2 of Future Man, but that's going to be a Patreon review. But I'll give you my thoughts on Friday. If you tune on Friday on Friday Night Tights, I'll give you my thoughts on it, like brief. Without respect, we reject fandom when the wallets close. How long until we see a remake of The Predator with an all-female cast? I think that was probably even considered heavy-fisted, but I think those days are actually over. I think the all-female cast thing is winding down. I don't think we're going to get any more of that. I think Ghostbusters being announced is the first sign of that shite is over. There's probably some stuff that's still in the works that they're going to have to finish out. So I'm going to say another year. But it'll be done. It'll be done. That all female Marvel movie won't happen. Promise you. Look for a lot of promised Marvel stuff to end up on the streaming service. That Black Widow movie that they're going to make, that they should have made a few years ago, unless they make it like an extreme hard R, I could see it just going to the streaming service. How many Hellboy fans here? Lone Angler, I'm one right here. Fringe was rushed to the finish, but it wasn't like totally awful. I mean, like most JJ things end off. Like Alias ended so badly, and so did Lost. So I love Galaxy Quest. Shane Black killed the Predator franchise for a while. He certainly did. Brian Singer's here. Uh-oh. What's up, Brian? Doomcock and the High Council invited you on their live stream yesterday. Did you ever consider it? I heard I got a shout out. I didn't know I was actually invited. I was in and out. I was actually really busy, and I heard somebody let me know that they were talking about me, and I usually listen to the High Council. So I guess like the first one I've missed the beginning of in a long time. So Jeff invited me, and I took a day to get back to him on Patreon, but then he didn't see my return message on Patreon, and he tried to get a hold of me again on Twitter. I wasn't on Twitter all day that day. That was just like the one day I wasn't on Twitter. I was out doing stuff, doing dad stuff. And I didn't see it till too late, but I would, yeah, of course I'd go if I was asked. Absolutely. One does not say no to the High Council. Be a pleasure. I subscribe to all of those channels, so have been for a long time. Nimoy was responsible for the shapeshifters. I recently rewatched Lost. I forgot how much I enjoyed it. You liked it. I didn't like Lost, but that's okay. A lot of people did. I mean, a lot of people did. Somebody got a retracted message. So I got to remind you guys, like, don't be there. YouTube is really weird about their super chats. So if you're going to say something salty, say it in the chat. Don't say it in the super chat. It just gets blinked. Sorry about that. That's not me. Mesa Monty, world-class bullshitters and Doomcock invited. Oh, okay. I already did that. Do I fancy it? Too political, critical? No. I didn't know they invited me on that episode, or I would have totally gone. I was listening to it in and out, and I was like taking out the trash, and had my headphones on. I didn't know they invited me on then. Did they invite me on right I heard I got a shout out. I didn't know I got invited on. I would have said yes. Sorry, guys, if any of them were watching. I would have come on in a second. Cecil was on though, so everybody got Cecil. People would rather hear Cecil than me. But yeah, I want to get Jeff at the very least. I want to get Jeff here so we can talk to Jeff because I want to talk to Jeff. I would love to talk to the other guys, Jeremy and EVS. I've been listening to World Class Bullshitters since they were in the very low thousands. I think 3,000 subs. No, I love that stream very much so. Mighty Balzac, she'll go back to 1989 and invent grunge. Thanks for the $2 Mighty Balzac. Scaro Trek, $2. Which Star Wars soundtrack do I like most? I like, that is a hard question. It's between Empire and God, when you say Jedi, you got to be specific now. That sucks. Return of the Jedi. Yes, it's between those two. Okay. It's Return of the Jedi, but it's not the one that was released on vinyl back in 83 because they left out so much. I mean, they left out the music where Darth comes in and he's all, but your sister, if you will not come to the dark side, then perhaps she will. And then Luke's all, no! And then we hear the chorus and that they left that off the fracking soundtrack. I was so pissed. But thank God when they re-released the special editions and they put that on the soundtrack. So there's that box set, which I still have. Return of the Jedi with that on it. I know everybody hates the Ewoks, but the Force battle is one of my favorites. It's a trap, yeah, that's good shit. Return of the Jedi. Empire second. Star Wars is third. Duel of the Fates is great. It's great. God, even the music, like the music from some of I didn't get the Last Jedi soundtrack because it would remind me of the Last Jedi, but I will recognize that John Williams did a much better job in the Last Jedi than he did in the Force Awakens, which sounded very prequel-ish. I love soundtracks. Sorry to bore you guys with that. Okay, you know what? I think I got to pull it up first. Talk amongst yourself for a sec. So I got a new Patreon video. If it gets up there. There we go. I unfortunately didn't put in my last video because I want to do it a little differently. But there we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wrap things up. It's been a couple hours. Let me get. I will get to the rest of. Make sure I didn't miss any super chats, and I will go over the chat one more time. We'll scan it one more time. But I'm going to show off the new. It's too crowded. I'm going to fix it, but I had to do something because we got so many new subs. So let's get back to the chat here. Boom. There we go. If Rian Johnson made Return of the Jedi, Han and Leia would have chose to have Ewoks and not blow up the shield generator. Says Observer, dude. 5 pounds. That is true. That is true. Rebecca Gold, have you read the Tank Girl comic? It is one of my favorite all-time comics, Rebecca. One of my favorite all-time comics. I have them. I have some OG stuff. From the UK. I went to a comic shop. I believe it was called Orbital. That's on the way to Leicester Square in London. So you're walking away from Forbidden Planet, which is like on that corner. I forgot the name of the street now because it's been so long. And Orbital's down an alley, and it's like you went downstairs. Has Spider-Man painted on the wall. There we go. There we go. Love Tank Girl. Yes. And I like the movie too. I do. Who directed that? The director of Tank Girl did did the finales of Doctor Who for the last for season 9 and 10. Rachel Talalay. My all-time favorite soundtrack is from Stargate, says Joel Murphy. There you go. My all-time favorite score is it's a tie. It's Superman the movie and Blade Runner by Vangelis. But I like a lot of other stuff. Like my favorite soundtrack of music is The Crow and Spawn. Spawn had a great soundtrack, but The Crow's the best. Return of the Living Dead. That's got a great soundtrack. 45 Grave, Party Time. Come on. Apple Crow, what's up? Hey, I don't know if you guys saw my share on Twitter. There is a there's a band. It's like a synth pop band called Xenopie or something like that. And it's just a girl with a violin and a guy and a keyboard, and they do a cover of the Blade Runner end titles. It's so good. It's so good. I subscribe to them. Here, hang on a second. I got to give them props. They're like some little dorky band. Give me just a second because I am subscribed to them. Zero Pi. Yes, it's Zero Pi. And they've only got 736 subscribers. I don't know if all their music's good, but they do a cover of the Escape from New York theme where he's on the keyboards and she's on a violin. And then the green screen in the background, you get highlights of the movie, and it's really good. It was good to work out to. Good to work out to. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yes, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I can't forget that. The special edition of that one is fantastic. Rebecca, have you heard the Ben Burt Raiders of the Lost Ark soundtrack? So remember those storybook records where they'd have a narrator and you'd hear sound from the movie? I'm dating myself now. This is prior to YouTube and videotapes and stuff. And if you wanted to re-experience your movie, you listen to it on a record and read along in a book. Well, Raiders of the Lost Ark did one that was just sound from the movie. There was no narrator. So you hear a condensed audio version of Raiders of the Lost Ark with no narrator, and Ben Burt redoing all the special effects for the album. It's got one of the best album covers ever. Have you heard of that? Because it's brilliant. Lord of the Rings are great. Actually, Game of Thrones soundtracks are fantastic too. If we're talking about soundtracks, David Arnold, Tomorrow Never Dies. There you go. And then I guess we're talking about soundtracks. Rebecca Gold. The movie on record. The official Dougie J is in the house. Yeah, that thing is brilliant, right? I have it hanging over my door in a frame. Actually, I have two here because I got to send one to Doomcock. I promised to send it to him, and I haven't done it yet. Hitchhiker's vinyl is the best. All right, kids. I got to wrap it up. I am sorry. I've got to go. Oh, by the way, want some limited edition Jerry Goldsman stuff for you didn't have to give me $1.99. Yes, I do, Doug. I do, official Dougie J, and thank you. Yeah. So guys, tomorrow's a big day, Star Trek Day. Star Trek and Orville Day. We will be live for both. There will be a video for both, and there will be so I'm going to move my Doctor Who video to Friday morning, and we're going to have a Star Trek video sometime during the day. And if anything crazy happens, I will go live. I almost went live. The only reason I didn't go live yesterday is because of the High Council, because of Ghostbusters 3. I was going to go live about that, but the High Council was on. And thanks for everybody letting me know that I got a shout out, and that really sucks that I got invited and I missed it, but they'll probably never invite me again, but they're invited here if they want. So everybody, need a bad reboot shirt. That's good. Oh, that's good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. So everybody have a great day. Please go to nerdrotic.com for our live stream schedule. And again, we're going to be back with Star Trek tomorrow. Our next full open live stream will be Friday night with Susan Layton of 1428elm.com, 7 p.m. Pacific time. In the meantime, like, share, and subscribe. And thank you to all the new subscribers. It has been brilliant and fun. And let's keep doing it. Everybody live long and prosper, and may the small folks sing songs of your greatness.